Welcome to ZoomInData. In this session, we're diving into Azure Data Factory at enterprise scale, designing robust, production-ready architectures that support large organizations with high volume, governance, compliance, and operational efficiency. We'll cover reference patterns from Microsoft, key design decisions, security, CD, monitoring, and best practices to avoid common pitfalls. Let's explore how to build ADF deployments that scale reliably and align with the Azure well-architected framework and cloud adoption framework. Enterprise-scale Azure Data Factory goes beyond simple pipelines. It involves multiple factories across environments or data domains, handling thousands of pipelines and millions of runs daily. Governance is critical. Strict RBAC, Azure policy enforcement, and tagging. Compliance requires full auditing, encryption, and private networking. Scalability comes from auto-scaling integration runtimes and parallel execution. Reliability includes disaster recovery, comprehensive monitoring, and high availability to support mission-critical data platforms. Microsoft provides clear reference architectures for ADF. The baseline focuses on a solution-oriented medallion lakehouse. The enterprise-hardened version adopts a domain-based federated model with extra non-functional requirements. Mission-critical extends this with advanced high availability, disaster recovery, and near real-time capabilities. All align with the cloud adoption framework and well-architected framework pillars. You'll find detailed diagrams, GitHub samples, and Bicep or ARM templates to accelerate implementation. In enterprise landing zones, use hub and spoke networking. Platform subscriptions handle connectivity, identity, and management. Deploy data landing zones per business domain or environment. Place separate ADF instances in dev, test, and production subscriptions to isolate risk and enable controlled promotion. Shared integration runtimes can span factories for efficiency. Enforce standards with Azure policy, for example, requiring managed identity or private endpoints. Enterprise scale shifts to a federated governance model. Business data domains own their factories and pipelines for agility. A central platform team provides standards, shared integration runtimes, and enterprise monitoring. This balances domain autonomy with guardrails like policies and templates. Focus on data products, governed, self-service outputs from pipelines. Use Microsoft Purview or Unity Catalog for cross-domain lineage, cataloging, and access control, with RBAC scoped to each domain. Integration runtime strategy is key at scale. Use Azure IR with auto-scaling and VNet integration for most workloads. It's fully managed. Self-hosted IR handles hybrid or on-premises sources, scaled via VM scale sets. Share IRs across domains and factories to reduce provisioning overhead. Use managed private endpoints for secure pass access. Instance pools pre-warm nodes for faster job startup. Monitor IR health, CPU, memory, and queue length to prevent bottlenecks. CD is essential for enterprise ADF. Enable Git integration with Azure DevOps or GitHub for version control. Use branches like main, feature, and release for controlled collaboration. Deploy via ARM or Bicep templates for consistency. Build Azure DevOps pipelines to promote from dev to test to prod with approvals. Implement automated testing, pipeline validation, unit tests for expressions, and integration tests. Use feature flags and parameters to manage environment-specific configurations safely. Security at enterprise scale demands zero trust. Use managed identity for all linked services, eliminating credential risks. Apply RBAC with custom roles scoped per domain. Deploy private endpoints and managed virtual network for all integration runtimes. Disable public access on all resources. Centralize secrets in Azure Key Vault. Use Microsoft Purview for data lineage, sensitivity classification, and governance. Enforce standards with Azure policy, for example, requiring private endpoints or managed identity. Monitoring spans ADF's built-in Monitor Hub and Azure Monitor for comprehensive visibility. Enable diagnostic settings to send logs to a central log analytics workspace. Set alerts for pipeline failures, excessive run duration, or integration runtime queue buildup. Build custom dashboards and workbooks for domain-specific insights. Integrate Microsoft Purview for end-to-end lineage tracking. Centralize logging across all domains to enable enterprise-wide observability and quick incident response. Cost control at scale requires discipline. Use separate factories per environment and domain to isolate billing. Tag all resources, project, environment, domain, for accurate allocation. Set budgets and alerts per subscription or resource group. Enable auto-scaling and time to live on integration runtimes and data flows to avoid idle costs. Prioritize incremental loads and partitioning to minimize DIU hours. Apply Azure reservations or savings plans for predictable Azure IR usage. Enterprise architectures often use a medallion lakehouse pattern. Bronze layer captures raw data via ADF copy activities. Silver layer applies cleansing and enrichment using mapping data flows or Databricks. Gold layer delivers curated, business-ready tables for reporting and ML. ADF orchestrates the flow between layers. Use Delta format throughout for ACID, schema enforcement, and time travel. Microsoft Purview provides governance, lineage, and cataloging across all layers. Summarizing best practices. Adopt a federated model with domain autonomy under central guardrails. Use Git and CD for every change. Mandate managed identity and private endpoints for security. Share integration runtimes with auto-scaling. Centralize monitoring via Azure Monitor and Purview for lineage. Enforce cost tagging and budgets. Make incremental loads and partitioning standard to keep performance and cost in check. Avoid these common anti-patterns at enterprise scale. Using a single factory for all domains creates bottlenecks and risk. Hard-coding keys or secrets leads to security issues. Leaving public endpoints exposes resources. Skipping Git and CD means manual publish errors and no rollback. Relying on full daily loads wastes DIUs. No tagging makes cost allocation impossible. Over-provisioned integration runtimes drive unnecessary costs. Always monitor and right-size. In real-world enterprises, multi-domain analytics platforms use separate ADF instances per business area, finance, HR, sales, with shared governance. Hybrid ingestion pulls from on-premises via self-hosted IR and cloud sources. CD pipelines promote changes safely across environments. Near real-time CDC orchestrates database changes into lakehouses. Large factory fleets implement strict cost controls through tagging and reservations. Purview lineage supports compliance audits and impact analysis. Here are conceptual interview questions for enterprise-scale ADF. What defines an enterprise-hardened Azure Data Factory architecture? What's the difference between federated and centralized governance models in ADF? Why separate factories per domain or environment? What's the best integration runtime strategy at enterprise scale? How do you implement CI/CD for ADF pipelines? What's the role of Microsoft Purview in an enterprise ADF deployment? And which well-architected framework pillars are most critical for ADF at scale? Scenario-based questions. You have sprawl with dozens of ADF instances across domains. How do you implement governance? High costs from many pipelines. What optimization steps? Design secure hybrid ingestion for on-premises and cloud at enterprise scale. A CI/CD promotion fails in production. How do you troubleshoot? Enable lineage and impact analysis for pipeline changes. And how to achieve near real-time ingestion in an enterprise medallion lakehouse using ADF. That brings us to the end of our deep dive into Azure Data Factory enterprise-scale architecture, from landing zones and federated governance to security, CI/CD, and optimization. Thank you very much for watching. If this helped you think about scaling ADF for large organizations, please subscribe to ZoomInData for more Azure Data Factory, Synapse, Databricks, and data engineering topics. Like the video if it was useful, drop your questions or experiences in the comments, and share it with your network. Thanks again. See you in the next one.